13. Black R&B legend, fathers and their sons at the same age. What happens when a son inherits one of the most powerful names in black music, but must build a life beneath a legacy the world refuses to forget? These legendary R&B fathers created timeless songs, shattered barriers, and commanded stages across generations. Their sons inherited the music, the expectations, and sometimes the painful burden of constant comparison. At the very same age, some were already changing history, while others were still searching for an identity beyond their famous family name. Today, Golden Black Legends reveals 13 remarkable R&B fathers and sons at the same age. Stay until the end, because several comparisons are truly heartbreaking. Before we begin, like this video, subscribe and comment which father and son legacy moves you most. Johnny Taylor and Floyd Taylor. Johnny Taylor built one of the most remarkable careers in soul and R&B history, while his son, Floyd Taylor, chose to follow the same musical path under the weight of enormous expectations. Known as the philosopher of soul, Johnny rose from gospel music with the Soul Stirrers before joining Stax Records in the 1960s. His unforgettable recordings, including Who's Making Love, Jody's Got Your Girl and Gone, and later the platinum-selling Disco Lady, made him one of the few artists to achieve major success during both the classic soul era and the disco boom. Disco Lady became the first single ever certified platinum by the RIAA in 1976, cementing Johnny's place among the greatest voices in black music. Growing up with such a legendary father was both inspiring and challenging for Floyd Taylor. Rather than avoiding comparisons, Floyd embraced his family's musical heritage and developed his own career as a soul and blues singer. Blessed with a rich, expressive voice that naturally reminded listeners of his father, Floyd released albums including Legacy and toured extensively across the United States and Europe. While he never reached the commercial heights Johnny enjoyed, he earned deep respect among soul enthusiasts for preserving the classic Southern soul tradition at a time when the genre had largely disappeared from mainstream radio. The bond between father and son extended far beyond genetics. Floyd often acknowledged that Johnny's work ethic, professionalism, and passion for authentic soul music shaped his own artistic values. Instead of copying every aspect of his father's style, he gradually blended traditional soul with contemporary influences while maintaining the emotional honesty that defined the Taylor family legacy. Following Johnny Taylor's passing in 2000, Floyd continued performing to honor his father's memory until his own death in 2014. Together, their careers represent two generations connected by music perseverance and family pride. Johnny built one of soul music's greatest legacies, while Floyd dedicated his life to ensuring that legacy continued reaching new audiences. Their story proves that true musical heritage is measured not only by commercial success, but by the lasting emotional impact passed from one generation to the next. Eddie Levert and Gerald Levert. Few father and son duos have left a greater mark on R&B than Eddie Levert and Gerald Levert. Eddie first became famous as the powerful lead singer of the O'Jays, one of the defining vocal groups of the Philadelphia soul era. Beginning in the 1960s, the O'Jays produced timeless classics including Love Train, Backstabbers, For the Love of Money, and Used to Be My Girl. Eddie's commanding voice, emotional delivery, and remarkable longevity helped establish him as one of the greatest soul singers of all time, earning the O'Jays' induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2005. Watching his father perform inspired Gerald Levert from an early age, but Gerald never relied solely on the Levert family name. During the 1980s, he formed the R&B trio Levert with his brother Sean Levert and friend Mark Gordon. The group quickly built its own identity through hit songs including Casanova, Pop 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 Goes My Mind, and Addicted to You. Gerald later enjoyed enormous success as a solo artist, releasing acclaimed albums such as Private Line and Love and Consequences. Over his career, he sold millions of records and collaborated with artists including Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, Barry White, and his father. Unlike many famous musical families, Eddie and Gerald often shared the stage as equals rather than competitors. Their 1995 collaborative album Father and Son beautifully captured the respect, affection, and musical chemistry between two extraordinary vocalists from different generations. Fans admired how Gerald honored his father's influence while developing a distinctive style marked by powerful ballads and heartfelt storytelling. Tragically, Gerald's life ended far too soon when he passed away in 2006 at only 40 years old due to complications from an accidental combination of prescription medications. His sudden death devastated both the music industry and Eddie Levert personally. Despite unimaginable loss, Eddie continued performing while preserving his son's memory through music. Together, Eddie and Gerald Levert represent one of black music's most inspiring family legacies. Their story is not simply about shared talent, but about love, mentorship, resilience, and two unforgettable voices that continue touching audiences across generations. Marvin Gaye and Marvin Gaye III. Marvin Gaye's influence on soul and R&B remains unmatched, but behind one of music's greatest legends stood a son who spent his life protecting that extraordinary legacy. Marvin Gaye III was born in 1965 and was later adopted by Marvin's then-wife Anna Gordy Gaye. Growing up, he witnessed both the brilliance and the personal struggles of a father whose music transformed American culture, while Marvin Gaye captivated the world with timeless classics such as What's Going On, Let's Get It On, Sexual Healing, and I Heard It Through the Grapevine. His son experienced the private side of an artist carrying enormous emotional and professional pressures. Marvin Gaye became one of Motown's greatest stars, earning multiple Grammy Awards and selling millions of records worldwide. His socially conscious masterpiece, What's Going On, is still regarded as one of the greatest albums ever recorded, influencing generations of musicians across soul, R&B, hip-hop, and pop. Yet despite worldwide success, his personal life became increasingly complicated by financial problems, legal disputes, addiction, and family conflicts before his tragic death in 1984 at just 44 years old. Unlike his father, Marvin Gaye III did not pursue a major recording career. Instead, he devoted much of his adult life to preserving his father's artistic legacy. He became actively involved in protecting the Gaye family's intellectual property, most notably participating in the highly publicized copyright case involving Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams' hit Blurred Lines. The lawsuit resulted in a landmark victory for the Gaye family and reinforced the importance of respecting original musical works. Over the years, Marvin III has also shared personal memories of his father, helping audiences understand the man behind the legendary voice. His efforts have focused on ensuring that future generations appreciate Marvin Gaye not only as an icon, but also as a devoted father, gifted songwriter, and cultural pioneer. Together, Marvin Gaye and Marvin Gaye III represent two generations connected by one of the richest legacies in soul music. One changed music forever, while the other dedicated his life to protecting that legacy for the world to remember. Clarence Carter and Clarence Carter Jr. Clarence Carter built an unforgettable career through his powerful voice, witty storytelling, and unmistakable Southern soul sound. Despite losing his eyesight during childhood, Carter refused to let adversity define his future. After graduating from Alabama State University, he launched a recording career that eventually produced enduring classics, including Slip Away, Patches, Too Weak to Fight, and the playful hit Strokin'. His remarkable longevity allowed him to remain a respected performer for more than 5 decades, making him one of the most recognizable voices in American soul music. Growing up as the son of such a legendary performer presented unique challenges for Clarence Carter Jr. Although he remained far less visible than his famous father, he inherited a deep appreciation for music and the traditions that shaped Southern soul. Rather than attempting to duplicate his father's extraordinary career, Clarence Jr. maintained a lower public profile, while continuing to support and honor the Carter family legacy. Unlike many celebrity families often portrayed through rivalry or controversy, the Carters have generally kept their personal lives away from constant media attention. Clarence Carter's success was built on authenticity rather than image. His emotionally honest performances connected with audiences from every generation, and his ability to blend heartbreak humor and everyday life into memorable songs made him one of soul music's most enduring entertainers. Those values naturally influenced his family, demonstrating that artistic integrity can become one of the greatest gifts a parent passes to a child. Even after decades in the music industry, Clarence Carter continued touring well into his later years, introducing younger audiences to the timeless sound of classic soul. His perseverance through personal hardship became just as inspiring as the music itself. The story of Clarence Carter and Clarence Carter Jr. is ultimately one of quiet family pride rather than public spectacle. One father built an extraordinary musical career through determination and talent, while his son helped preserve the family's legacy away from the spotlight. Together, they remind us that not every meaningful inheritance is measured by fame. Sometimes the greatest legacy is the character, resilience and love passed from one generation to the next. Eddie Levert and Sean Levert. Music ran through the Levert family long before Sean Levert stepped onto a stage. As the youngest son of Eddie Levert, the legendary lead singer of the O'Jays, Sean grew up surrounded by timeless soul music and extraordinary vocal talent. Eddie helped define the sound of Philadelphia soul with unforgettable hits including Love Train, Backstabbers, For the Love of Money, and Used to Be My Girl. His remarkable career earned worldwide recognition and eventually a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, creating enormous expectations for the next generation. Rather than avoiding those expectations, Sean embraced them. Alongside his older brother Gerald Levert and friend Mark Gordon, he co-founded the R&B trio Levert, one of the most successful vocal groups of the late 1980s. The trio enjoyed major success with songs such as Casanova, Just Coolin', and Baby, I'm Ready. While Gerald often received greater public attention as lead vocalist and songwriter, Sean's smooth harmonies and dependable stage presence became an essential part of the group's distinctive sound. Unlike many famous musical families, Eddie consistently encouraged both sons to develop their own artistic identities instead of simply imitating his career. Sean benefited from that guidance while building a respected reputation within contemporary R&B. The family's shared passion for music created a bond that extended far beyond professional success. Tragedy struck in 2008 when Sean Levert died at only 39 years old while serving a brief jail sentence related to unpaid child support. Medical reports indicated he suffered complications after receiving medication while in custody. His unexpected death deeply affected Eddie Levert, who had already endured the devastating loss of Gerald just 2 years earlier. Losing both sons within such a short period became one of the greatest heartbreaks of Eddie's life. Today, Sean Levert is remembered not only for his contribution to Levert, but also as part of one of R&B's most respected musical families. Together, Eddie and Sean represent a legacy built on extraordinary talent, enduring love, and resilience in the face of unimaginable personal loss. Ray Charles and Ray Charles Robinson Jr. Ray Charles forever changed American music by blending gospel blues, jazz, country, and rhythm and blues into a revolutionary sound that influenced countless generations of artists. Born in Georgia and blinded during childhood, Charles overcame enormous obstacles to become one of the most celebrated musicians in history. Throughout a career spanning more than 5 decades, he created classics including Georgia on My Mind, Hit the Road, Jack, I Can't Stop Loving You, and What Did I Say?, earning 17 Grammy Awards and recognition as one of the true architects of modern soul music. Among the many people most deeply influenced by his remarkable journey was his son, Ray Charles Robinson Jr. Growing up in a household shaped by worldwide fame was far from ordinary. Rather than following his father directly into recording, Ray Jr. chose a different path while remaining closely connected to the family's musical legacy. He became an author, producer, and public speaker dedicated to preserving the authentic story of his father's life. His memoir, You Don't Know Me: Reflections of My Father. Ray Charles offered readers a deeply personal perspective on the legendary performer, revealing both his extraordinary achievements and the complicated realities of family life. Ray Jr. also served as a consultant on the Academy Award-winning 2004 film Ray starring Jamie Foxx. His involvement helped ensure the film accurately portrayed his father's career struggles with addiction, remarkable musical genius, and lasting cultural impact. Through interviews and public appearances, he has consistently emphasized that behind the international superstar stood a devoted artist whose determination changed music forever. Although father and son chose different careers, both dedicated their lives to protecting the Ray Charles legacy in meaningful ways. One transformed American music through unforgettable performances, while the other preserved that history for future generations through education, storytelling, and historical accuracy. Together, Ray Charles and Ray Charles Robinson Jr. demonstrate that greatness can be passed down in many forms. Sometimes the greatest tribute a son can offer is not to imitate his father's career, but to ensure the world never forgets the extraordinary life that inspired millions. Ben E. King and Benjamin Earl King Jr. Ben E. King earned his place among the greatest voices in American music through timeless songs that continue touching listeners more than half a century later. Rising to prominence as the lead singer of the Drifters, King helped create unforgettable classics such as There Goes My Baby and Save the Last Dance for Me. After launching a solo career, he reached even greater heights with Stand By Me, a song that became one of the most recognizable recordings in music history. Released in 1961, the record has been covered hundreds of times, entered the Grammy Hall of Fame, and remains a symbol of hope, friendship, and loyalty around the world. Growing up as the son of such an influential artist was a unique experience for Benjamin Earl King Jr. Unlike his father, Benjamin chose to remain largely outside the spotlight, preferring a quieter life while helping preserve the family's musical heritage. Rather than pursuing worldwide fame, he became one of the people responsible for protecting Ben E. King's legacy, ensuring that future generations continued appreciating the remarkable contributions his father made to soul and rhythm and blues. Ben E. King often emphasized the importance of family humility and hard work despite international success. Those values became just as meaningful as his extraordinary catalog of songs. Although father and son followed different professional paths, they shared a deep respect for the music that had transformed the family's life. When Ben E. King passed away in 2015 at the age of 76, tributes poured in from musicians across every genre. His influence extended far beyond soul music, inspiring artists from pop, rock, country, and gospel. Benjamin Jr. continued supporting efforts to celebrate that extraordinary legacy through memorial events and family initiatives. Together, Ben E. King and Benjamin Earl King Jr. represent two generations connected not only by blood, but also by one of the most beloved musical legacies ever created. One gave the world songs that will never fade, while the other quietly helped ensure those timeless recordings continue inspiring audiences for decades to come. Stevie Wonder and Kwame Morris Few musicians have changed popular music as profoundly as Stevie Wonder, and few sons have inherited such an extraordinary family legacy as Kwame Morris. Blind since infancy, Stevie transformed what many considered a limitation into one of history's greatest artistic careers. Signing with Motown as a child prodigy at just 11 years old, he evolved into a singer, songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist whose influence reached every corner of modern music. Albums including Talking Book Inner Visions, Songs in the Key of Life, and Hotter Than July produced classics such as Superstition, Sir Duke, Isn't She Lovely, and I Just Called to Say I Love You. Over the course of his career, Stevie has won 25 Grammy Awards and sold more than 100 million records worldwide. Among his 9 children, Kwame Morris has chosen a very different path. Rather than attempting to follow directly in his father's musical footsteps, Kwame established himself as a creative entrepreneur, fashion professional, and designer. He has worked in eyewear design, modeling, and branding while maintaining a relatively private life compared to his internationally famous father. His decision to build an independent identity reflects a desire to succeed through his own talents, rather than simply relying on one of music's most recognizable family names. Despite their different careers, Stevie and Kwame share a close relationship built on mutual respect and family values. Stevie has frequently spoken about the importance of fatherhood, while Kwame has proudly celebrated his father's achievements and humanitarian work. Their connection illustrates that a musical legacy can inspire children in many ways, even when they pursue careers outside the recording industry. Today, Stevie Wonder continues performing, composing, and advocating for social justice while remaining one of the most respected artists in history. Kwame, meanwhile, has quietly developed his own creative career away from constant media attention. Together, Stevie Wonder and Kwame Morris demonstrate that true legacy is measured not only by awards or record sales, but also by the ability to inspire future generations to pursue their own dreams with integrity, creativity, and confidence. David Ruffin and David Ruffin Jr. David Ruffin possessed one of the most unforgettable voices ever heard in soul music, and his influence continues through the work of his son, David Ruffin Jr. As the legendary lead singer of The Temptations, David helped shape the golden age of Motown during the 1960s. His emotionally powerful performances on timeless classics such as My Girl, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, I Wish It Would Rain, and Beauty Is Only Skin Deep established him as one of the greatest vocalists of his generation. His passionate delivery, unmistakable stage presence, and charismatic personality elevated The Temptations into global superstars and forever changed the sound of American soul music. Following his father's footsteps was never an easy challenge for David Ruffin Jr. Instead of attempting to recreate one of the most legendary careers in Motown history, he focused on preserving and celebrating the Ruffin family's musical heritage. Throughout the years, he has performed at tribute concerts, special events, and productions honoring both David Ruffin and the remarkable legacy of The Temptations. His performances are driven less by commercial ambition than by respect for the music that shaped his family's history. David Ruffin's own career included extraordinary success, but also significant personal struggles, including addiction and conflicts with the pressures of fame. His untimely death in 1991 at the age of 50 shocked the music world and marked the loss of one of soul's greatest voices. Those experiences profoundly influenced his son's understanding of both the rewards and responsibilities that accompany a famous family name. Rather than allowing his father's legacy to fade, David Ruffin Jr. has continued sharing the timeless music that introduced millions to classic Motown. His commitment reflects admiration, gratitude, and a desire to keep future generations connected to one of the greatest voices in American music. Together, David Ruffin and David Ruffin Jr. represent more than a father and son. They symbolize the enduring power of soul music, proving that while extraordinary voices may one day fall silent, the legacy they leave behind can continue inspiring audiences through the dedication of the next generation. Otis Redding and Dexter Redding. Otis Redding's extraordinary career lasted only a few short years, yet his influence on soul music remains immeasurable. Known as the King of Soul, Redding captivated audiences with his emotional voice, electrifying stage presence, and unforgettable songwriting. Classics including "I've Been Loving You Too Long", "Try a Little Tenderness", "Respect", and the posthumous masterpiece "Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay" established him as one of the greatest recording artists of all time. Tragically, his life was cut short in a plane crash on December 10, 1967, at only 26 years old, leaving behind an unfinished career that continues inspiring musicians around the world. Among those most deeply connected to his legacy is his son Dexter Redding. Growing up after his father's untimely death meant Dexter came to know Otis largely through family memories, recordings, and the enormous respect shown by generations of fans. Rather than avoiding the weight of such an iconic surname, Dexter embraced it with pride. During the 1980s, he became a member of the Reddings, a family band that also included his brother Otis Redding III and cousin Mark Lockett. The group achieved commercial success with songs such as "Remote Control" and "Class", introducing a modern funk and R&B sound while honoring the family's musical heritage. Beyond performing, Dexter has played an important role in protecting and promoting his father's legacy. Working alongside the Otis Redding Foundation, he has supported educational programs, charitable initiatives, and projects designed to preserve one of soul music's richest histories. His efforts have ensured that Otis Redding's influence extends far beyond classic recordings. The relationship between Otis and Dexter is unique because their connection has been built through legacy rather than shared years together. One father changed music forever during a remarkably brief career, while one son dedicated himself to preserving that extraordinary gift for future generations. Together, Otis Redding and Dexter Redding remind us that true greatness never disappears. Through family, music, and enduring love, a legendary voice can continue inspiring the world long after the final song has ended. Isaac Hayes and Isaac Hayes III. Isaac Hayes changed the course of soul music through his unmistakable voice, groundbreaking production style, and fearless creativity. Born in Tennessee, Hayes rose from humble beginnings to become one of the architects of the legendary Stax Records sound. As a songwriter alongside David Porter, he helped create classics recorded by Sam and Dave, including "Soul Man" and "Hold On, I'm Comin'." His own solo career reached extraordinary heights with the landmark album Hot Buttered Soul, while his iconic theme from Shaft made history in 1972 by earning the Academy Award for Best Original Song, making Hayes the first black artist to win an Oscar in that category. Growing up under the shadow of such a remarkable legacy could have been overwhelming, but Isaac Hayes III chose to carve out his own identity. Rather than attempting to imitate his father's signature style, he embraced modern hip-hop, entrepreneurship, and technology. Beginning as a music producer, he worked with artists across the rap and R&B industries before expanding into business and digital media. He later founded Fanbase, a social media platform designed to give creators greater ownership of their content and revenue, demonstrating that innovation runs deep within the Hayes family. Although father and son pursued different musical directions, they shared a commitment to creativity, independence, and empowering black artists. Isaac Hayes believed in breaking barriers through music, while Isaac Hayes III focused on creating new opportunities through technology and entrepreneurship. Their careers reflected different eras, yet both sought to give artists greater freedom and control over their work. After Isaac Hayes passed away in 2008, his son became an important voice in preserving and celebrating his father's extraordinary contributions to music history. Through interviews, public appearances, and business leadership, Isaac Hayes III has continued introducing new generations to one of soul music's greatest pioneers. Together, Isaac Hayes and Isaac Hayes III demonstrate that a family legacy does not require following the exact same path. One revolutionized soul music, while the other embraced innovation in the digital age, proving that true greatness evolves while remaining rooted in the values passed from one generation to the next. Bobby Womack and Bobby Truth Womack Jr. Bobby Womack lived one of the most fascinating and turbulent careers in soul music, leaving behind a catalog that continues inspiring artists across multiple generations. Beginning his career as a member of the Valentinos, Womack later established himself as one of soul's greatest singers, songwriters, and guitarists. His timeless recordings, including Across 110th Street, If You Think You're Lonely Now, Woman's Gotta Have It, and That's the Way I Feel About Cha, showcased a raw emotional honesty that became his trademark. Beyond his own success, Bobby also wrote songs for other legendary performers and collaborated with artists ranging from Aretha Franklin to the Rolling Stones. Growing up with such an influential father was a unique experience for Bobby Truth Womack Jr. While he chose a far more private life than the internationally famous soul legend, he remained closely connected to his family's musical heritage. Unlike many celebrity children who pursue careers under constant public attention, Bobby Jr. largely stayed away from the spotlight, allowing his father's extraordinary achievements to remain the focus. His quieter approach reflected a deep respect for the Womack family's legacy rather than a desire to compete with it. Bobby Womack's life was filled with both remarkable triumphs and painful personal struggles. He battled addiction, experienced heartbreaking family tragedies, and faced serious health challenges later in life, including colon cancer and diabetes. Yet through every setback, he continued creating music that spoke honestly about love, loss, redemption, and perseverance. Those experiences shaped not only his artistry, but also the values he passed to his family. Following Bobby Womack's passing in 2014, Bobby Truth Womack Jr. became part of the family efforts to preserve his father's remarkable contribution to soul music. Although he has maintained a relatively private profile, his role in protecting the Womack legacy remains meaningful. Together, Bobby Womack and Bobby Truth Womack Jr. represent a powerful story of family resilience and musical heritage. One father transformed soul music through unforgettable songs, while one son continues honoring a legacy that remains deeply respected throughout the history of black music. James Brown and Daryl Brown. Few entertainers have influenced popular music as profoundly as James Brown. Widely known as the godfather of soul, Brown revolutionized rhythm performance and stage showmanship while laying the foundation for funk, modern R&B, and eventually hip-hop. Throughout an extraordinary career spanning more than 5 decades, he recorded legendary hits including Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, I Got You, I Feel Good, Cold Sweat, and Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine. His explosive performances, relentless work ethic, and innovative rhythms forever changed American music and inspired generations of artists from Michael Jackson and Prince to countless hip-hop performers. Among those connected to his remarkable legacy is Daryl Brown, who has publicly identified himself as James Brown's son and has participated in efforts to preserve his father's musical heritage. Following Brown's death in 2006, questions surrounding his estate, family relationships, and inheritance received significant public attention. Although legal discussions regarding James Brown's heirs continued for years, Daryl consistently expressed pride in his connection to one of music's greatest pioneers and has appeared at commemorative events celebrating Brown's extraordinary contributions. Growing up with the family name of James Brown carried unique responsibilities. Rather than trying to duplicate his father's unmatched career, Daryl focused on honoring the history and influence that made Brown an international icon. Through interviews and public appearances, he has helped keep conversations about James Brown's achievements alive while supporting efforts to celebrate his lasting cultural impact. James Brown's influence extended far beyond record sales and awards. His innovations shaped the evolution of funk soul, disco hip-hop, and modern popular music, making him one of the most sampled and influential artists in recording history. That remarkable legacy continues inspiring musicians across every generation. Together, James Brown and Daryl Brown represent a story that reaches beyond fame itself. One father transformed the sound of modern music through relentless innovation, while one son has worked to honor and preserve that extraordinary heritage, ensuring that the legacy of the godfather of soul continues, inspiring audiences around the world for generations to come. Every legendary voice begins somewhere, but preserving that legacy is never easy. Some sons followed directly in their father's footsteps, while others chose quieter paths, carrying the family name with pride instead of chasing the same spotlight. Together, these fathers and sons remind us that true greatness is measured not only by record sales or awards, but by the values, passion, and inspiration passed from one generation to the next. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which father and son duo inspired you the most, and which musical legacy do you believe had the greatest impact on R&B history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to Golden Black Legends, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unforgettable story celebrating black music and its greatest legends.